offer behind-the-scenes access to the creative process. Over 125 events are produced by Citi Performing Arts Center and presented by Highland Street Foundation. Joining me now with a preview is Sue Dahiling Sullivan, Chief Strategic Officer for the Citi Performing Arts Center. Good to see you.
Hi, Chris.
Good to see you again. This is so exciting. First of all, for the few people who have been living under a rock and don't know that you guys do this twice a year, can you give me a really mini history of how this evolved?
Sure. It's actually pretty new. It's only started 2 years ago. And in fall 2013, we only had 13 events. And we were inspired by the popularity of restaurant weeks. But we wanted to highlight the arts more than just a discounted ticket. And so Art Week was thought as happening twice a year to give people a hands-on, exclusive, cool experience that was also affordable and accessible. So from 35 events, we've grown to over 125 events. Over 50% are free, which is extraordinary.
Which is great.
And 90% are free or under $25. So everybody can get a real, get a piece of Art Week.
And since we've been seeing that first night is in a little bit of danger, we need to think about when there's citywide free arts events. Now, one of the great things about Art Week is that it isn't necessarily a performance. Some of your events are like visiting a rehearsal or getting behind. It's sort of, well, you can tell me the spectrum of what you can see.
It is so wide-ranging, and it's different every Art Week. But this Art Week, you can get, say, a behind-the-scenes tour of a set at the Strand Theater, or you can hear a famous Shakespearean director talk about what she's doing on a stage. You can be part of giving audience feedback during an actual small musical theater production, and the audience is part of creating the art. You can create community murals, learn how to tango.
So it's very participatory rather than just sitting and clapping politely at the end.
Right. We think arts is, it's changing. No longer are people, solely interested in being just a passive audience member and watching a play or quietly just looking at a gallery. People want to learn more. They want to be part of it. It's part of that experience that makes it extra special.
Right, and I think one of the main things about free or low-cost events is that people who don't really have a lot of experience going to the theater or a museum, they can go to a free thing, get a taste, and then they're not scared anymore to go to a theater or to a concert or to a gallery because they've done it and survived.
Right, they know a little more. It's, you're getting an education experience.
You can feel like an insider if you've been
Absolutely.
backstage.
This is sort of getting the insider perspective on arts twice a year that you can't get any other time.
Now, you have 10 days. Obviously, your website is the best source of that. Is it arranged just as a, Monday you can do this, or do you have it arranged by genres?
There are two ways to go to the website. You can go to artweekboston.org and go to calendar. At the end of this week, we'll be putting a PDF of a sort of calendar at a glance so you can see everything. But if you go to the calendar, you can sort by genre, location, day, time of day.
All right, so all those great things. If you don't want to go too far from your home, you could say, well, here, what's in my area or whatever.
Absolutely.
Or if you're saying, I just want music, where I'll go anywhere where the music is. So that's great.
Or if you want to sort by, Boston Neighborhood Network, you'll find that there are 4 events
happening. Oh, I see,
happening.
BNN. That's wonderful. So we're in the mix too there.
Absolutely. You're on the cutting edge.
So what you solicit arts organizations to say, hey, during your Art Week, I can modify my schedule and offer this as part of the mix, right? It's a collaborative effort just in the organization. It's not all produced by
all we are is sort of a convener, facilitator, recruiter. We provide marketing and support where a lot of small groups that people don't know about don't have those resources. And that's where we think we're giving back to the arts and cultural community is by helping raise the visibility of all the great individual artists, small theater groups, great music happening in the city.
Now, do you guys facilitate in any way educational things for kids, or introduce things? Are their kids appropriate?
There are a lot of kids and family-friendly activities. We definitely cold call people. We're like, you're doing great stuff. Are you doing anything? And it can range from, there's a great event happening at the Children's Museum with From the Top, but there's also something happening out at UMass for high school writers and artists. There's hip-hop classes on the Common. There's great things for kids.
You guys should be congratulated, because anybody that stumbles on your site or picks up a paper and sees the big flashy ads that you guys have, even just reading it, you see the wide scope of artistic activity here in Boston, even in places like you said, like UMass or something like that, where you think, oh, they're all little student drones.
Right.
No, they're also doing, arts events, and that they might be other free arts events at other times of the year at UMass.
Absolutely. We're just trying to give people a taste, and again, an insider view to what happens even between art weeks.
All right, and just as to conclusion, before we ask you for your website, what about, you're going to have a fall Art Week?
We are.
Or can you reveal the date, or is there going to be a
no
drum
well,
roll
we're
before?
Announcing next week. Actually, we're kicking off Spring Art Week with something very exciting. And we are working with Boston Properties and the Prudential, and we're going to be lighting the Prudential Tower in a very cool custom light thing.
Wow! So we'll wait
in honor of the arts and cultural, the spectrum of diversity in the arts and cultural communities. And we'll be announcing 2 years of art. Weeks.
Okay. Now, so let's wrap up with your website where people can.
ArtWeekBoston.org. Follow us on social media, #ArtWeekBoston, or just Google us and you'll find ArtWeek Boston.
And anybody who's inspired by our chatting here, they can contact you guys
Absolutely.
if they want to volunteer for the fall or coordinate.
Absolutely. We're already talking to people about cool things happening over the next year. Very exciting.
Thank you. It's so good to see you again.
Thanks, Chris.